Hi, this is Dominic Keating. I played Lieutenant Malcolm Reed on Enterprise, as you probably know, and you are listening to the NX 7062 podcast. Enjoy.
Yes, you are listening to the NX 7062 podcast. It is another Monday night, so it's time for us to sit and hang out. War Dog, welcome. I am so excited that the hat is coming soon. I am so excited for you, and definitely figure out some way to send me pictures. I know you don't social media, but we'll figure something out. Actually, the podcast has its very own email address, Stephanie at the NX7062.com. That's my email address, Stephanie at the NX7062.com. I think I put a the there. You know, I always send emails to people. I don't, let me look. Oh, no, there is no the. It's NX. It's Stephanie at NX7062. Just like Magic Lasso wrote right here. It's Stephanie at NX7062. And you can email me pictures. And if you're cool with it, I will share it with the rest of the group. Speaking of, hello, Lasso. Hello, Robert. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Always so good to see you guys. Oh, and look what I found. War Dog, the guy that is making your hat, also made me this. You can't really see on camera as well as I'd hoped, but it's glitter. It says NX7062 in glitter, and it says it on the back too. It was seriously like just this last minute request. Raymond's amazing. He put it together for me before he left for Vegas from LA. So I had it to wear at the convention, and I love it. And I should have been wearing it. Somebody forgot to mute her phone. I guess I should do that so that the theme to Enterprise doesn't interrupt us anymore than, you know, unless I tell it to. Anyway, welcome. So glad all of you guys are here joining me. Like I said, I cannot wait, War Dog, to see you in your hat. One of only 2 people right now that have one. So you're in a very exclusive club. So let's get right to it. Another amazing Lower Decks the other night. They brought back Peanut Hamper. I completely forgot what happened to her. I mean, I knew she sort of abandoned everybody, but I forgot how bitchy she was and selfish when she left the Cerritos. And then to have like a Peanut Hamper centric episode. And what I loved was it was such a riff on all the Star Trek episodes where somebody learns that big life lesson about not being selfish and turns their lives around, and they're like, I'm cured, I'm better, I'm a better person, I'm ready. And then you find out that was all bullshit. And she was just doing it for her own personal gain, which was to bring those nasty, what are they called? You know what? I just had it. The Drachman. The Drachman. Bring those nasty Drachman back. By the way, in case you all missed it, that was J.G. Hertzler's other character that he voices for Lower Decks. And I actually missed his first episode back in September of 2020. I can't believe I didn't realize that was him. But I looked it up on imdb.com tonight because I needed to get the names of the aliens. So I thought that was... I thought I was very ashamed of myself because he said 3, and I was like, how did I miss you? Well, I felt better because I didn't miss him because he was in this episode, which came after the interview. But he actually did do that Jackman Captain before, back in September of 2020. Yep. The Bad Boy Wrecking Crew. I love that. The Jackman are pretty nasty. They're like intelligent, see, now I can't remember the name of that other Packlids. They're like the Mirror Universe version of the Packlids because they salvage, but they're nasty instead of just, you know, kind of goofy. I've never turned my life around, but I have turned the beat around. Aww, gotta love that percussion. Lasso, you have one of these? How did I not know that? How did I? Yes. These are awesome. This is like my 5th one. I just wear them until the paint wears off, and then I order another one because all the proceeds go to the Christopher Reeve Foundation, and you can find them at the Warner Brothers shop. Just go to WB shop and type in Superman tag. So let's see what else is going on in the world before we move on. Oh yeah, speaking of Lower Decks, there was an article, and I tweeted about it the other day, where Mike McMahon said he would not have a problem. He would love to get some Enterprise people, figure out how to get Enterprise people onto Lower Decks. Obviously, T'Pol and Phlox are the ones that he could do in real time and as still living. But, gee, Enterprise in the holodeck. Go figure. Maybe we can do something like that. Maybe they could bring Trip back. Who knows? But there was an entire article on it, and I actually tweeted at Mike McMahon, and I said, if you do this, it will make up for the pineapple in the office just being a pineapple, if he can bring them back. I did not specifically say who, but we all know who I'd love to see come back and do some voices. Let's see. What else is Lasso up to? Got my tags for Christmas the first year they came out. Yeah, I probably had them. That's probably about how long I've had them, too. I stopped wearing them on the long chain. I found that wearing them on a shorter chain, not that it's a chain, but a shorter necklace works better, which is why more people see it now, because it's not in my shirt. Okay. So what else did Stephanie discover today? Stephanie decided, for no reason except what the hell, BBC America was running TNG, and I was working, so I figured that's good background, so I throw it on in the background, and I discovered 2 things. The first thing, well, the second thing, because the first thing actually goes with the topic from tonight, so we'll go with the second thing, is that James Cromwell has been all over Star Trek before he was in First Contact. And it's just so funny, because I'm just sitting there and I'm doing my work, and I hear Worf having a conversation with somebody, and I went, that's Cromwell. That has to be James Cromwell. And I turn around and it's an alien. Can't see his face. But I look it up and I confirm it is definitely James Cromwell. So I did not realize how much he was all over. He did TNG and DS9 before he did First Contact. So I was this many days old when I found that out. Let's see. Ooh, and before we really dig in deep, because we're getting close, you guys need to save these 2 dates. October 24th, which is exactly 2 weeks from today. Exactly 2 weeks from today. John Billingsley will be on the show, assuming nothing else happens. No more delays with his shooting the miniseries that he's doing right now. No more hurricanes. He's in Georgia. No more hurricanes. No more anything. He gets back to LA safe and sound. And he will be here on the 24th. So get your questions for Dr. Phlox ready. Then we've got John hopefully on the 24th, and then a few weeks later on November 7th, Roddenberry. The man who Wesley Crusher is named for himself is going to be here. That's right. His middle name is Wesley, and that is where Wesley Crusher got his name. Roddenberry is going to be here. We're going to be talking about Star Trek's vision and the philosophy of Star Trek. I've already asked him, what can't we ask you? And he, understandably, nothing in production. Don't ask him about new stuff. Don't ask him about Section 31. Don't ask him what's going on with what. Just, we're going to talk about the philosophy of Star Trek. Anyway, and Lasso, stop texting me while I'm on the air. Just saying, I love you, but stop texting when I'm on the air. I get distracted when I get notifications, even when my phone's off. Anyway, but we are going to talk about just the philosophy of Star Trek. So, I mean, and episodes and other things, and some behind the scenes stuff. He told this great story at the John Billingsley's cocktail party in Vegas that I'm hoping I can get him to reiterate. Yeah, I know, sweetheart. I know. I just had to bust on you because we're here and you knew that. So I just had to. Had to. Dang, I'm going to miss the 7th. I'll be driving home from... Oh, shoot, Robert. I'm sorry. Well, you know what? If you want to email me, or not email me or message me a question for Rod, then I'd be happy to ask it. So even though you won't get to talk to him directly, you at least could get your question answered. So if you do think of a question for Rod, send it to me, DM it to me, however you want to do it, and I'll see if I can, and I'll put it in the list. And Jamie, hello, welcome. One of my Facebook people has joined us. Jamie, it is so good to see you. Thanks for coming out. Okay. So now we are ready to move into degrees of separation. This is the thing. You guys know just about every show, even when we get off topic, I usually can find a way, no matter how far afield we go, to somehow kind of loop it around back to Star Trek. You know, I just call it the 6 degrees of separation, you know, like the 6 degrees of separation from Kevin Bacon. And it's really easy to do with Star Trek. And I have fun doing it, and I decided, since we do it off and on during the show, why not make an entire show out of 6 degrees of separation from Star Trek? It doesn't have to be 6, but, you know, it could be more. But if you guys can think of anything, we can do it. We can work it together in the chats. But I did a couple of my favorites, and the one that I found today, and it's one of the ones where, again, I don't usually watch TNG during the day. I'm not a TNG rewatch person. I'll watch a specific episode, like when Eric Pierpoint was coming on, I watched all of his stuff. I'll watch specific episodes if I'm in the mood, but I usually don't sit down and just let it play in the background. But today I decided to. Okay, wait. I've got one for you. Sally Struthers, go. All right. I'm thinking about this one. And somehow... Oh, here we go. Ready for this? This one's easy. Sally Struthers did the voice of the daughter in Dinosaurs. Michael Dorn had a ton of guest appearances doing voices in Dinosaurs. Did it in one, baby. Boom. And for those of you that don't know, which would probably be last, so Michael Dorn played Lieutenant Worf on Star Trek Next Generation. So there you go. Did it in one. Okay, so back to what I was talking about. So anyway, like I said, for no reason, I just had it on the background. And what is the first episode? It's Aquiel, which is season 6, episode 13. And Renee Jones plays Aquiel. And Renee Jones also played Lexi Carver in Days of Our Lives. So I just connected one of my favorite shows and something I've been watching since I was 5 years old. I just connected that up to Star Trek. Can also connect it up to Buck Rogers because Gil Gerard was actually in a few episodes. So that puts Days of Our Lives in one. Yeah, see, Lassie, you thought it was going to be tough. You thought that one was going to be tough. But dinosaurs, and I knew it was dinosaurs. So I thought that was. I just thought with the show tonight that was fun. That I happened to click on one episode of TNG and I got myself something. Jill from Twitter came up with Kevin Sorbo, and it's funny because when I tweeted back at her, I said it's probably going to be Andromeda. I'm probably going to find somebody from Andromeda. I mean, you can't think Hercules and Xena. That I started there, and I'm like, nah. Although, now that I'm saying that, Carl Urban played Cupid and Caesar in Xena, and Kevin Sorbo has done Xena. So, like I said, I'm not going to get so specific that these actors have to be in the same episode. They just have to have done the same show. So the fact that Kevin Sorbo and Carl Urban have both done Xena, that puts that Star Trek. But for those of you that do not like the Kelvin timeline, I got something for you that will take you back to the original 5. Because Kevin Sorbo also was in Supergirl. And Supergirl gets him there in 2 ways. One, because Makeda Brooks, who played Jimmy Olsen in Supergirl, was also in True Blood. And so was John Billingsley. So that gets you there in 2. But then if you want to go directly from Supergirl to anything Star Trek, and you're okay with going disco, the other person, somebody else that had a recurring role in Supergirl, was David Ajala, who plays Cleveland Book on Star Trek Discovery. So Kevin has got 3 ways, actually. I thought there was only 2, but now I realize we've got him in the Kelvin, we've got him connected to the original 5, and we've got him connected to the new stuff. That's not bad for one person. So so come on, guys. You gotta, Lasso. Adrienne Barbeau. She was supposed to be a chiller, by the way, and she canceled. Unfortunately, I don't know her filmography that well, which is something, which was something that I should have considered before I said, let's do challenges live, because it doesn't help if I don't know somebody's filmography. But let's see if just a quick scan as I vamp. Let's just see if a quick scan of her IMDb page helps at all. Let's see. She was in American Horror Stories, which is something I love. She was in Creep Show. Oh, all right. Let's do Creep Show. Oh, it's the TV series. God damn it. If it was in the movies, I would be able to connect her through Stephen King. Let's see. And for those of you that don't know, Stephen King was in Pet Sematary, and so was Denise Crosby. So that would have been that. She was in Criminal Minds. Oh, there we go. Criminal Minds. Bang on. Done. Adrienne Barbeau did an episode of Criminal Minds, and so did Connor Trinneer. So there we go. She was in Swamp Thing. Now I got down to Criminal Minds. She did an episode. Connor Trinneer did an episode. He played a SWAT team commander. So there we go. Let's see. A couple of my favorites. And the thing about the 60s, which you guys may or may not know, is that in the 60s, there are a lot of actors that had contracts with studios, and they worked a lot of shows through their contracts. There were just guest stars in the 60s that you would see would pop up on so many different shows. And Arlene Mattel was one of them. And I've mentioned her before. She was the original T'Pring in Amok Time. And when I started watching all these other older shows, I mean, I've always watched them, but more recently, like Gunsmoke. She was in episodes of Gunsmoke. But she was also in my very favorite Monkeys episode. So we got the Monkeys tied to Star Trek. That's really easy. She was in my very favorite Monkeys episode, called The Spy That Came In From the Cool. It was a first season episode where Davey picked up a pair of red maracas that had some secret microfilm in it. They also did this cute little I Dream of Jeannie spoof in that one. That also, Arlene connects the Monkeys. She connects Hogan's Heroes and Gunsmoke all back to Star Trek. Gunsmoke probably, I haven't seen every episode of Gunsmoke, but Gunsmoke definitely can do it on so many other levels because they had so many amazing guest stars, including Loretta Swit, MASH, Harrison Ford, which I absolutely love. Hello, Tony Fett. What is up? What's up, nerds? We're playing 6 Degrees of Separation from Star Trek. Name an actor or TV show, and I will try to connect it all back to Star Trek. So far, I am batting 1,000. So far, I am doing pretty damn good. Lasso tried to stump me twice. Good on him, because I wasn't sure how I was going to get Adrienne Barbeau. Thank God for Connor and all of his current work. Still no bombs in LA yet. I'm still waiting for him to pop up on 911. Also, going back to Amok Time, Stan Lawrence Montagna, I don't know, was in, it turns out he was also in Hogan's Heroes, but he was also in Batman. He played one of the Joker's henchmen in a couple of episodes. So he played Mr. Glee. So Lasso will probably now give me the episode. Which episode had Mr. Glee? Fett is here. Yes, Fett is here. Fett visits every now and then. Walter Matthau. Is that how I'm reading that? Wow, Walter Matthau. That's a good one. do Predator. Okay. Walter Matthau. Let's do Walter Matthau first, because Robert said it first. So let's do Walter Matthau first. The only thing I really know him from is The Odd Couple, and I know he's had the most stellar, amazing career. But let's see. Like I said, if I can't do it just from reading, I want to try. What I'm trying to do, I'm actually on IMDb as we speak, just kind of scanning the list to see if there's anything I recognize that he starred in or guest starred in that I can connect back. The Odd. I feel like if I went and looked at The Odd Couples, played opposite Jack Lemmon. That's all I know exactly. Alfred Hitchcock. Ooh, Alfred. I bet you Alfred Hitchcock Presents could do it too, because I would be very surprised if somebody from Star Trek didn't do an episode of Alfred Hitchcock Presents. I really would be very surprised. I can't do it off the top of my head, so that's a good one. Predator. So I'm going to move on to Predator, which is an awesome movie, which I actually have a friend. My best friend does the most amazing Predator impersonation. I have it on tape somewhere. He does the most, that creepy growly noise that the Predator makes. He does it really well. He also does a great Chewbacca, and yes, I'm stalling. Let's see, that had Carl Weathers and Arnold Schwarzenegger. Okay, this one's just going to keep me off of IMDb. This one's a little bit of a stretch, but Arnold Schwarzenegger did Terminator with Linda Hamilton, who did Beauty and the Beast with Ron Perlman, and Ron Perlman was in an episode of Star Trek. He was actually at TNG. He was actually at STLV this year. So there's Predator. I did get Predator. That counts, because I will count guest stars and Ron Perlman. I don't even know what episode he was in, because they probably put him in mask. He was probably in Voyager, which means I didn't see him. But there you go. So we went from Predator to Terminator to Beauty and the Beast to Star Trek. Beauty and the Beast also had Armin Shimmerman in there. So if you're looking for a more solid Star Trek connection, Armin Shimmerman had a recurring role. Jeff Combs and Eric Pierpoint. Beauty and the Beast was full of Star Trek people. Eric Pierpoint and Jeff Combs did episodes. So there you go. That's a really solid tie. It's more of a solid tie than I thought. So there you go. Predator, Terminator, Beauty and the Beast, Star Trek. Voila. All right. So Walter Matthau's the one, and I with as big of a career as he had. Oh wait, there was The Odd Couple. There was even The Odd Couple 2, which I completely forgot about. Oh, ha! Got it. Walter Matthau. Walter Matthau was in The Odd Couple 2 with Gene Smart, who did the movie Senior Moment, which came out last year with William Shatner. So I'm William Shatner leads you right back to Star Trek. So there you go. I knew it was going to be The Odd Couple in there somewhere. So The Odd Couple 2 was easier. So there you go. Walter Matthau. Done. Couple other ones that I got. My sister, actually, we went to go see Terrifier 2 the other night in a special presentation. It might have been the only night that was going to be in theaters. So look for it as a streaming on-demand thing, Terrifier 2. If you really want to gross yourself out for Halloween, watch Terrifier and then Terrifier 2. Terrifier 2 was really good, really gross, amazing independent film by this fantastic guy, Damien Leone. He's fabulous. He wrote it, he directed it, and he does the special effects makeup because he's just that talented. In fact, the last time I saw him was at Chiller last year, And speaking of Beauty and the Beast, he did himself up as Vincent, and it was beautiful. It was perfect. And I got a picture with him. I mean, the minute I saw, he just did it after hours. He was in the bar. I walked up to him and I just looked at him and I was like, Vincent. So he was awesome. Let's see. So my sister and I, like I said, we're just having this casual conversation, and she mentioned that Scarlett Palmers, who was Naomi Wildman in Voyager, actually played one of the daughters on Reba. So Reba, country. We got country music connected to Star Trek. I watched the new Hellraiser on Friday. How was that, Robert? I actually met one of the guys that played Pinhead, one of the newer Pinheads. I don't know if he's in this movie. I think he was in the last reboot of Hellraisers. He wasn't the original Pinhead. Let's see. Oh my God, Lasso, you're terrible. But here's my favorite one. Here's my absolute favorite one. Of the ones that I've thought of for tonight. Superman, the original Superman, Christopher Reeve, the one and only, can be connected to Star Trek through Margot Kidder because her niece, Janet, played Osira in the 3rd season of Discovery. The evil leader of the Emerald Chain was Margot Kidder's niece, and the way she died getting pushed into that computer was definitely an homage to Star Trek, to Superman 3, which was probably, 4 was the worst of the Christopher Reeve movies, and 3 came in a very close second. It explains the limit. Oh, well, there you go. Gotta love those movies that sum everything up. Like, I don't know, Halloween Ends, which is coming out. Can't wait to see that one. Halloween Kills was really good. Halloween Kills was really good. Of course, I kept wanting to call it Hollywood Kills, but Halloween Kills was really, really good. Let's see, can I do a Halloween movie? Well, I mean, we all know Halloween already has its own Star Trek lore because Michael Myers' mask was based on a William Shatner mask. I actually just saw a meme where they showed you the original William Shatner mask, and basically all they did was cut out the eye holes, like with no eye, just cut out the eyes a little bit, turn it white and change the hair, and voila, Michael Myers. So I'm really looking forward to Halloween Ends. And maybe it will, maybe it won't. I don't know. I guess we're going to have to stick around and find out. I'm trying to think if there's an actor besides the mask, if there's anything that pulls Halloween over to Star. We know, I mean, you guys watch anybody that's watched my Halloween episodes the last couple of years, y'all know that horror and Star Trek can go hand in hand, especially when you've got Jeff Combs. I mean, come on. In fact, the end of Lower Decks that Jeff came in and just did a couple of lines. I would love to see Jeff's little computer guy team up with Peanut Hamper. That would be awesome. Just saying. That would be a good Halloween episode because that could be scary. And you let Jeff do scary voices. It's always good. Halloween. Mickey Dolenz was actually in one of the Halloweens very briefly until Michael killed him. See, Danielle Harris. Somehow I want to say she would be a good connection. Danielle Harris played the kid in 4 and 5. I met her too. She's really cool. And she was also in Roseanne. Okay. All right. Here we go. So Danielle Harris was in Halloween 4 and 5. Then she moved to Roseanne, where you had a couple people who went from Roseanne, 3 people that went from Roseanne to Big Bang Theory. Leonard Nimoy, Will Wheaton, William Shatner. How many Star Trek guests? LeVar Burton. So if you can connect yourself up to the Big Bang Theory, you're connected back to Star Trek. So I just connected Danielle Harris from her stint on Roseanne to the Big Bang Theory to get to Star Trek. So there, I just connected Halloween to Star Trek. So all it takes is just finding that one person that's just, yeah, I love playing this. I love playing the 6 Degrees of Separation. I hope you guys are having fun playing along with me. Because I do this, like if I'm driving and stuff just pops in my head, a song comes on the radio or something reminds me of something, and then my brain just starts working in these mysterious ways. It's actually how I figured out the Superman thing actually was, I've played 6 Degrees of Separation with myself, like how close am I to certain people, just from the actors that I'm friendly with, and I wanted to see if I could get myself to Superman. And I got myself to Superman through Mary Chieffo, who is in Discovery, who I'm friendly with, who I am trying to get on the show, by the way. I keep forgetting to follow up on the emails. Because we started talking right before I went on break. So I connected myself to Mary Chieffo, and then through Janet. So I am actually not that far from Superman myself, which is great. I actually did see Christopher Reeve speak when he was on his speaking tour not too long, maybe a few years before he died. He was doing a speaking tour, and he actually came to State College where I was living at the time. And it was free, and it was amazing just being in the same room with him and listening to him speak. He was one of my first Hollywood crushes. Him and Davy Jones and Burt Ward were my 3 Hollywood crushes when I was a kid. And not that you need to know this, but between the 3 of them, they've pretty much shaped my preference in men. Let's see. Mary is going to be at Starbase India again. Yes, I saw that. She is one of the nicest people I know I say that about all the people I like to talk about who are the nicest people, but she and her partner, Maddie, are just such a super couple, not just because they're great together, but because they're so creative together. Maddie's a playwright. It was her play that I saw when I was out in LA for Gallifrey 1. Maddie wrote it, and Blue DeBarro and Mary Chieffo were among the incredibly talented cast. And Maddie herself was in it, and it was fantastic. It was so wonderful. Oh, and Issa Baronis was in it, and it was just such a fabulous cast, such a well-written play, and it was really a pleasure to see them and to get to know them. And Maddie is also a huge Doctor Who fan, so I keep bugging Maddie to try and bring Mary into that fold, because Doctor Who, come on, Mary, start watching it. If I get her on the show, I'm gonna have to bug her about that again. So that is all that I could think of. That's all that, and you know what? I don't think I did too bad with the ones you guys threw out. So I'm glad I almost got stumped. I like a challenge. So I thought, honestly, I did. I thought Kevin Sorbo was going to be a challenge. But when I IMDb'd him and I realized he was on Supergirl, that was easy. And David Ajala actually had a Supergirl 8x10 at his booth in Chicago. And I had forgotten he was in it. And we were chatting. And I said, that's right. You were in Supergirl's Black Manchester. He said, yeah. I said, yeah, I was back when Supergirl was good. And his response was, yup. Probably just because he was in it. Because for anybody that's watched the show knows I am not a fan of Supergirl. I'm a fan of Supergirl the character, was never a fan of Supergirl the TV show. So next week will be 1 week and counting till John Billingsley. So I got to think of something to do to fill the gap. Hopefully, like I said, I am in his book. He is planning on being here. We are going to talk about anything and everything. We've got the Hollywood Food Coalition. We've got the wonderful Trek Talks 2 that's coming up in January. That show that he was on, that Star Trek show that he was on. We've got so much to talk about. So 2 weeks from today, John Billingsley. So everybody start thinking. Lasso, I'm sure if you looked him up on IMDb, you would find something that you have seen him in. If not one thing, two or three. He's everywhere. So go look him up. But until then, if you want to throw some more stuff at me, you know where to find me on the socials. I am at NX7062 or the 7062. It's so easy to find me. Find me on the socials. Email me if you've got somebody. I will be more than happy to do some research and do degrees of separation this week. Who knows what the topic's going to be next week? Y'all are just going to have to tune in to find out. Robert, yes, see you next week. Please do message me a question for Rod. Anybody else that knows that they are not going to be here on November 7th or October 24th, and you have questions for my guests, please feel free to message me through Facebook or DM me through Twitter. Just let me know, because I will be happy to add them to the list so that you can, even if you can't be here to hear the answers live, you will be here. You can do the rewatch and catch the answers then. Until next week, everybody, as always, take care of yourselves. I get to say this now. Stay warm. And until I see you next week, please remember to live long and prosper.
Hey, this is Connor Turner. You've been listening to the NX7062 podcast with Stephanie. Enjoy your evening.